Namaste Saraswati Om Bhagavan we have 2.5 people and he won't start. What is it? I'll start before he comes. He's got to be here, of course. Yes. He has to be here. What is his nonsense?
Did anybody see where he is?
He's there in the kitchen.
This is highly unpolite, insulting, improper. He should be here. He doesn't have to be in a kitchen whatsoever.
He's usually leaving when the class starts.
It's another Danish filth. Walk out, show the rear end to the other. It's a famous Danish rasa, you know. I'm 3 years talking to people's rear ends. It's not a very good way to receive knowledge through the rear end. There's no reason to be not here.
I wants to do something, maybe make
He doesn't have to do one thing. Instead of sit here on his back part and listen. There's nothing more to do. There is nothing as urgent as that. You are not going to do one thing.
Okay.
Because this is no emergency, there's no need to do that. All it's need is just to sit down and listen something and hear about Krishna, and that's all. It's once again a little simple question. Before you do something, would solve the problem immediately. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 What was the last shloka we stopped? You stopped?
18 yesterday. Yesterday was 18.
18. Yesterday was 18. Today is 19. I just read the shloka. Indra vacha ahudanava siddhusi yasyate matir idrishi bhakta sarvatmanapanam suridam jagadishwaram. Indra vacha. Indra said. Aho. Hello.
Hello.
Danava.
Danava.
O demon.
O demon.
Siddhasi. You are now perfect.
You are now perfect.
Yasya. Whose. Te. You are. Mati. Consciousness. Idrishi. Such as this.
such as this.
Bhaktaha,
Bhaktaha,
a great devotee,
Sarvatmana,
without diversion, Atmanam, to the super soul, Suridam, the greatest friend, Jagadishwaram, the supreme personality of Godhead. Indra said, O great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul and the friend of everyone. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam labdha param labham manyate natikam tataha yasmin shrito na dukkena guruna vicharyate. Established in Krishna consciousness, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in midst of greatest difficulty. An unalloyed devotee is never disturbed by any kind of trying circumstance. Indra was surprised to see that Vritrasura, undisturbed, was fixed in devotional service to the Lord, for such a mentality is impossible for a demon. However, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can become an exalted devotee. Shriyo Vaishaspada Shudras Depiyanti Parangatim. An unalloyed devotee is sure to return home, back to Godhead. I'd like to read the next one also. Bhavanatarashin mayam vai vaishnavin janam mohinim yat vihaya suram bhavam mahapurushatam gataha. You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee. Purport. Lord Vishnu is the Mahapurusha. Therefore, one who becomes a Vaishnava attains the position of a Mahapurusha. Mahapurusha and Mahapurusha. This position was attained by Maharaj Parikshit. It is said in Parma Purana the distinction between a demigod and a demon is that a demigod is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, whereas a demon is just the opposite. Vishnu Bhakta Smrithor Daiva Asuras Tat Viparyayaha. Vritrasura was considered a demon, but actually he was more than qualified as a devotee, or Mahapurusha. If one somehow becomes a devotee of the Supreme Lord, whatever his position, he can be brought to the position of a perfect person. This is possible if an unalloyed devotee tries to serve the Lord by delivering him in this way. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumbayavana Khasadaya Yanye Chapapayat Aposhraya Shrayaha Shudyanti Tasmai Pramavishnavi Namaha. Kiratas, Hunas, Andras, Pulindas, Pulkashas, Aviras, Shumbas, Yavanas, and members of the Khasa races, and even others addicted to sinful acts can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord, for He is the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto Him. Anyone can be purified if he takes shelter of a pure devotee and molds his character according to the pure devotee's direction. Then, even if one is Kirata, Andra, Pulinda or whatever, he can be purified and elevated to the position of Mahapurusha. Hare Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimoti Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinam Namaste Saraswati Devam Puravani Prachani Nirvisheshi Srimati Krishnati Visatarana. Indra said, O great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul and friend of everyone. You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee. So this is finally the identity of Vritrasura being revealed, where Vritrasura was simply facilitating a lila, a part actually. He was to demonstrate the superiority of spiritual knowledge and realization, because it is not the designation, social position, place of birth, the family one comes from, which defines one's status, but ultimately it is actually the practical exhibition of one's devotion to Krishna, which is important. Practical exhibition. Therefore, one of the first things he mentioned is, "O great demon, I see that by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, it's not possible to be enduring in devotional service without discrimination. Because if one doesn't discriminate, one becomes confused. You know, that's what this Mayavada philosophy is doing. It's constantly confusing people. You know, there's no determination in Mayavadi. He seems to be determined, but ultimately he will waver because he will never get down from the mental platform. So he will just go sankalpa vikalpa, accept a concept, reject a concept, you know, changing this, changing that, constantly. Therefore you see always this, you know, even amongst devotees is coming all the time, "Hey, I have an idea, this is it. That's how we are going to save preaching." Another one comes and goes, "Hey, I have an idea, this is what we are going to do. Hey, this. This firework of ideas, concepts, these scenarios, they call it nowadays visions. There's nothing else, confusion. Because anybody who wants to discuss a vision is a confused fool. Why? Because the vision is already given. Srila Prabhupada gave all the vision we need. There's nothing to discuss. Discussion will be more targeted on the point how to do it. Not what to do, but how to do it. Nowadays we always hear what to do. No, it's what to do, Prabhupada said long time ago. You know, the question is how to do it. And that's according to time and circumstances, one needs discrimination again. Prabhupada could discriminate between the ideal Vedic concept, this is a brahmachari, this is a grihastha. He never changed that. But how to apply it to the Western culture? Like example, how to apply that people are addicted to the presence of the opposite sex since they are born. There is no separate education. There is no separate anything. Any woman can sit on any man anytime, and any man can sit on any woman anytime. That's Western so-called culture. And anybody can sleep with anybody, anybody can do anything anytime. That's the Western culture. How do you preach in such a field? Well, the first thing is, you try to get people married. That was Prabhupada's first objective. You know, you may not know this, but 1970, you can study letter by letter how excited Prabhupada was about the idea to get everybody married. You will be amazed, one letter after another. I am mostly pleased and mostly inspired that you've chosen, this Mataji, that you've chosen this Prabhu, because it is proven to me that in a Western world, the best way is to preach is to get married. So one letter after another. It's, this please get married and preach together. This combination of marriage and preaching was never done before. Vedic culture actually is not exhibiting it. Married means go home. Married means have children. Immediately, marriage without children is considered a disaster and actually irreligious. It's not within Dharma. Marriage means children. And of course it can happen, and it did happen in the Vedic times, that the children are not possible. That's considered a disaster. It's so important that even if, like example, the husband cannot produce a child with that wife, his brother can. Ooh. She's not even married to him. This is not considered religious. This is so important. Why? Well, first of all comes regulation, and second of all, behind that comes the whole concept of a culture. You cannot just run around, unpurified material desires, men and women bumping into each other. such a disaster. That's what Arjuna was worried about when I kill everybody in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There were just these women running around. Unprotected, unmarried, there would be so much Varnashankara. So this is amazing actually when you study Prabhupada's approach. He was pragmatic, but he writes also in a letter, I don't make any secret that to remain brahmachari is the best position for cultivation of spiritual life. That he said also, exactly at the same time. So it was not like Prabhupada acknowledged brahmacharya ashram, not at all. But he saw how unqualified we are. How unqualified. And he gives us such a nice outline for preaching husband and wife. He said, you have to live somewhere, right? And when you're living somewhere, you have to cook something, right? And when you are living somewhere and you cook something, you invite friends, right? Unless you're some Swedish Mahabharati or something like some Scandinavian thing where you don't invite anything like anybody. Because it's me and the forest and the oxygen, that's it. Maybe an elk. That's the way you are born in these countries, because you hate people. So anyway, the point is, how do you actually, Prabhupada said, well, when you do that, then you cook prasadam, your flat becomes, or your house becomes a temple, and whoever you invite, you inform about Krishna consciousness. That's preaching. And you can do it easily from this platform. I preached like this for 14 years, and I have to say, probably my best preaching memories. It's so easy. People can relate to it immediately. Oh, very nice. Yeah. People have a hard time because they are so materialistic motivated. They have a hard time to accept the concept of brahmacharya, monk, and this. This is very difficult in this society. But it has to be there. So much that Prabhupada even gave sannyas to people who were actually quite unqualified. Because there must be sannyas, and there must be brahmacharya if you preach. There must be the whole range. But especially in 1970, Prabhupada was extremely inspired. Seeing the results, London Temple being established and opened by Sri Grihastha couples. Prabhupada said, none of my godbrothers, sannyasis, could do anything then. I just sent Sri Grihastha couples there and they opened a temple. And so many temples were opened by Grihastha couples. All the way. However, at the end Prabhupada was extremely disappointed by the Grihasthas in ISKCON. He was very disappointed. Why? Because he saw that they are able to give up their vows. These vows. No divorce. No divorce. And anybody divorcing, taking that initiative, no way to go back home, back to Lord. Sorry, the doors to Vaikuntha are locked. Any woman, going outside of her marriage, 5,000 lifetimes in a womb of a shackle who is diseased. You have to be born again. It's Manu Samhita talking. So this is like, it's absolutely unacceptable. There's no way to calculate. You can change 100 rounds a day. You can say, but the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Yes, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is there. But you never find in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then Gauranga went to this house of the divorced Grihastha and embraced his association. And his wife number 15 cooked his feast, And then Gauranga tasted the sweet nectar, And then Gauranga went to another house where, there was somebody dating somebody. And they invited him also to join in, That would be a very strange Chaitanya Charitamrita, I tell you. It's never like this. Lord Chaitanya was so heavy. The most merciful incarnation of the Lord. He didn't want to see even a king. Because he was mingling with people who are just, of course, Maharaj Prabhupada was another pure devotee. Finally, in a tricky way, he got the most intimate association of Lord Chaitanya. You know, he could actually massage his feet. Not many could do that. So, you know, but to set an example for a sannyasi, oh, Lord Chaitanya was so strict, so heavy. So we should not mistakenly think that this is all lovey-dovey Krishna will. That's exactly how Christianity got destroyed. On this point. Anything can be forgiven. Forgive and mercy and mercy. And don't discriminate. In American vocabulary it's called don't be judgmental. Really? Well, you are judgmental because you are telling me I'm judgmental. What do you do with that? You are very heavy judging me. You are telling me I'm judgmental. Hey, how do you avoid that? How do you avoid to be judgmental? Well, as a matter of fact, we are judgmental all the time. We are all the time discriminating. I want to eat this, I don't want to eat that. I want to be with him, not with him. I want to do this, I don't want to do that. Therefore, it's complete illusion. Doesn't exist such a state. Being neutral. Neutral. You know, Sweden was so neutral in the Second World War. It facilitated all the transport of all the Nazi army through Sweden so they can finish off Norway. You know, very, very neutral. They were selling weapons and they were providing iron for Hitler, you know, and they were very neutral. They could also provide something. And neutral means you are like a prostitute. You go with everybody everywhere as long you can make some money on it. It's more neutral means prostitute. She's very neutral. I can have sex with you and everybody and no problem, as long as you pay, it's fine with me. Very neutral. Very liberal. You know, somebody says, you know, but I want this kind of sex. That can be also facilitated. I'm very liberal, yeah, very liberal. What kind of sex do you want? I'm very liberal. You know, but this is a very sick kind of sex. That's we can speak about this. I'm very open to a new ideas. I'm very liberal. This is the governments of the world today. Very liberal, very neutral. We are so liberal. With a gun and a point, you know, with always on a gun point. The American liberal. Are you liberal? Are you democratic? Say I am democratic. Very democratic. So Prabhupada didn't make any secrets out of this, that these things are cheating. This is illusions. There's always power, there's always force, there's always politics. This is not living in a material world. It's always like that. We find Bhagavad Gita is very honestly displaying. This is neutral. Kill them all. Krishna says. That's neutral. Now people go, oh, Hare Krishna, you want to be terrorist? Or not at all. Oh, we can give a whole lecture on terrorism. This is not even war. This is one of the most heinous and disgusting type of violence you can exhibit. You put somewhere a bomb and you blow everybody up. This is not Kurukshetra at all. First of all, only professionals are involved. Second of all, no women, no children, no old people. What to speak of devotees? They are not involved. Professional soldier, that's your trade. And again, accept rules. Not this dumping rockets here and there and killing everything in a way and oh, you know, we have victory, we killed everything, including animals and children and whole village being wiped out. And I mean, this is totally unacceptable, such a sinful demoniac type of warfare. But there will be war and there will be conflicts. That's unavoidable. It's material world. There will be never peace, love, flower power. Where is this today? It's all swept away. Now it doesn't work. But exactly shastrically given rules. Now somebody can say, but the rules can be bent. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another problem, of course. Therefore society has to be powered by Brahminical brain. Brahminical means detached. Detached, not participating for personal profit. He just wants to have the truth and the principles, as stated in the end of Bhagavad Gita, wherever Arjuna is and Krishna, there is extraordinary opulence, morality, what is this else? Religiousness, of course. This is there exhibited plainly. So it is by the symptoms and by the action we can judge, not by the idea. Anybody can talk anything anytime. But here Vritrasura is very plainly and very wonderfully exhibiting the qualities of the devotee. And the first one is detachment. And the first one I'm mentioning is the discrimination. He goes, this is right and this is wrong. This should be done and this should not be done. So in that regard, Indra, even being victorious, he appears as being defeated. Because by superior knowledge, Vritrasura actually defeated him. Because Vritrasura was more detached by the dint of knowledge. So he was more detached. He was ready to give his body up, no problem. He knew perfectly well I am not this body. And he knew he is eternal servant of Krishna. So in this way, actually one can judge. Therefore discrimination has to be there all the time. As a matter of fact, progress in spiritual life means more discrimination. More discrimination. Discrimination also means to ascertain the quality of a person. Even Prabhupada says even demon can be changed. Well, first of all, we have to know it's a demon. Demons comes, as Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, a very, very daring statement. He said, there will be demons in this movement. There will be people coming who will dress like devotees, have a tilak, and they are demons. Get ready for that. Now, I would be not daring to go around and say, look, that's him, that's it's very daring. But again, by activities, by practically exhibited action, you can see this is demoniac. All these new versions of Krishna consciousness, This is written in 1969 or 1970. Now we have 2014. New time, new principles, new age arrived, new Krishna consciousness. Krishna goes west, he is not east. He is not south, he is not north, or what? These kind of stupid ideas define Krishna west, new version. We should wear only dhoti. We should not wear a dhoti. We should have, only tilak. We should have no tilak. We can discuss forever. Prabhupada gave the balance. We find it all documented. He said, no. We like to wear dhoti. We like to look like devotees. But it's not a rule. No. You cannot judge devotee by wearing a dhoti. Because, you go direction India, you have so many devotees running around. So what? What? I know what would upset me in India. I was never there for a long time, but I know exactly what would trigger me in India. And I see devotees who are preaching there, they are addressing these points very clearly. Very soon, is this kind of relaxed way to practice Krishna consciousness. This 20 brahmacharis sitting the whole day somewhere, shaking the bead back, discussing which Mataji to marry. Cool, prasad, cool. Because one problem in India is they have so much manpower. And that makes you lazy. And then there are other brahmacharis. I saw them in Mayapur popping out of the Sankirtan vans. There's a whole big parking lot of buses. That's the one who are out there distributing books, chanting Harinam, distributing prasad.